Hello everyone. So today we are going to talk about this. This is a Smith & Wesson Model 910. You'll note that it does not appear to be particularly modern. It's not. This particular model was manufactured between 95 and 2005 or 6, I think. So how did I come by this? Well, funny story here. I walked into a gun store one day and I swear to God it looked like somebody had raided a Smith & Wesson museum. There were all kinds of guns in this class category series. The 3900/5900s, they were all over the place. They were as little as $300 up to as much as like $1,500 for some of the rarer, more pristine ones. That was during the era when my gun buying consisted of, ooh, shiny, let's get that. So I did. I did, however, at least take one of the less expensive ones. This one I think I picked up for like $300. But anyway, like I said, the 910 was based on the 5900 series, which was a double stack. And the 910 means 9mm, 10 rounds. Why 10 rounds? Well, because it came out in 1995. As part of the 1994 assault weapons ban, there was a 10-round ban, or 10-round magazine limit. So 10 rounds of 9mm, 910. After the rather pathetic legislation sunsetted in 2005, they came out with 15-round magazines. Mine came with a 17. This is a Metgar, and I have since purchased a couple others that are also 17s. So if you see somebody out there with a 910 that has a 15-round mag, I don't know. I'm not sure when they went to the 17s, but that's what mine has. I'm perfectly content with that. This is a double action, single action, 9mm, hammer fired, which used to be the king of the crop. Not so much anymore. So, you'll notice, yeah, this is one trick. I said double action, but nothing's happening, right? Well, it's got a magazine disconnect. Rumor has it these were originally designed for police departments. In fact, I knew a guy on the Illinois State Police in the early 80s who carried a predecessor of this gun. And he had like 8 shots, I think. His was a single stack. And yeah, it had a magazine disconnect. So put a mag in, you can pull the trigger. The trigger, this one is like 10 pounds 6 ounces according to my measurements. Single action trigger was right around 5 pounds. As you can see, the single action is significantly shorter, and it also feels a lot better. But the point of the DASA is to make it safer, harder to fire. Speaking of safeties, it has one. It also has a decocker, and they're the same thing. Start here, it's ready to shoot. And that decocks it and also applies the safety. I don't care for that. I'm not like allergic to manual safeties or anything, but I like the ones that you sweep down with your thumb, like a 1911 style. This is just would confuse me, and with a 10.5 pound trigger, why? You don't need one. So that's what I do, and that was there. The 910 was actually one of the less expensive. I think I picked this up for like $300, and it was one of the less expensive in the first place because it was what's called the value series. There are some things about this that are cheaper than some of the other ones. Frame is alloy, slide and barrel obviously are stainless steel. The sights are plastic, as you can see. They're fairly basic 3-dot, nothing spectacular, but they work well. Point of impact is solid. However, the more expensive versions of this gun had better sights. They also had exactly the same slides. So if you wanted to get better sights, it's not that hard to do. Like the magazines, I can get $20-25 all day long if you want more of those. So the sights were plastic. The magazine release is a plastic button, not metal. And the guide rod is plastic. That has not been a problem, really, for me. What is kind of interesting sometimes is taking this gun apart, because there's something you have to watch out for. So I'm gonna show you. So first, it's It's pretty basic. You've already seen that it's clear. Nothing in there. Decock it. Then you line up this little notch with the front of the magazine of the slide release, and then you push really hard and realize that it doesn't work. So I flip it over here and push this little button here, and now line it back up. It's actually hard to do this when you can't press it against yourself, which I can't do because that would take it out of the damn frame. Anyway, there that is. Now, I'm going to be very careful when I take this out because, well, I'll show you. The guide rod can do some entertaining things sometimes if you're not careful. And it's already loose. I can feel it. You see where the guide rod is. That's not normally where it sits. If you're not careful taking this out, this will cross the room on you and you will have to search for it. But anyway, and it's one of the more interesting things about it. Ordinarily this sits just like this. Now as you can see, there's not a whole lot for this little thing to sit on. It's not like one of the more modern ones where there's this two flat pieces sitting together. No. So it's plastic, but that's not the problem with it. The problem is you just got to be careful taking it apart, otherwise it goes places. And then there's the 4-inch barrel, all fairly standard stuff. The other trick to this is getting it back together, and I will show you that. And don't worry if it gets too tedious, because it takes me too long. I will edit the crap out of it. Sorry, you gotta hold this in place, slide this back on. So far so good, right? Now you come back to here, you gotta push this down. Then there's one here, you gotta push this down. And then there's finally a third one, and the only way I've consistently ever been able to get that work is to use a screwdriver and press that down, and now you can get it on. So all three of those have to be pressed down. It's kind of a pain. But other than that, I really like this gun. It shoots well. I will there he is. I will put something in the video right about now showing you my targets from yesterday at 10 yards. Okay, so today we're going to have the Smith & Wesson Model 910. I've got some other video stuff on this, but today we're going to shoot it. I've got two magazines with full metal jacket and one with Federal HSTs. These are 17 round mags. I'll be shooting from about 10 yards. As you can see, they were not that impressive. That is on me, not the gun. I haven't shot this in a while. Apparently I need to. And besides, I'm a little out of practice in my DASA. I've been carrying and shooting my striker fired more lately. So I need to get back into shooting these and a couple other things. Anyway. So that's the Smith & Wesson 910. Big fan of this. When people talk about if you need a home defense gun but don't have the money for a new one, just go buy a used one. This is what they mean. This is an excellent home defense gun. It's kind of big for carrying. Alloy frame, steel slide. So it's kind of big for carrying. It's December as I'm doing this. If you live up in snow country and you're wearing a coat, well, you know, you could carry this extra outside waistband. As far as holsters go, despite the fact that it's an old gun, there are still holsters available because, like I said, it's the same as the 459 or the 5900 series. and there are still holsters made for those. They'll work just fine for this. So anyway, you guys have a good one. Thanks a lot.